Italy is dying. Yes, quite literally. The Italian population is dying out as we speak. In 2022, fewer than 400,000 babies were born in Italy. This means an average of 1.25 babies per woman. This rate is below the replacement rate required for a stable population, and it's the lowest recorded birth rate since the birth of Italy itself in 1861. Italy, popularly known as the land of history, culture, and pasta, is facing a silent crisis that is slowly eating away its economy. A fertility crisis. In this video, we'll unpack why and how Italy is dying. Before we carry on though, please subscribe if you haven't already. Despite financial incentives offered by the government of Italy, the number of babies born each year continues to decline. But what's at stake here? Well, a declining population poses a grave demographic threat for Italy. The dying population will have severe impacts on Italian economy. The active workforce continues to shrink while aging population rapidly increases. The United Nations Population Division has indicated that Italy's working age population will decrease by approximately 30% in the next 25 years. In 2021, under Prime Minister Maria Draghi, the Italian government began providing financial allowance for each newborn child. Former Prime Minister Maria Draghi was committed to fixing Italy's population problem. She also took a policy pledge to fix this issue ahead of the election. This child allowance provided by the government ranges from 50 to 175 euros per child. Yes, cash allowance for babies. This payment is made to the parents till the child becomes independent or reaches 21 years of age. The exact amount also varies according to each family's income. Even wealthy families are entitled to this allowance in hopes of more children being born. Apart from allowance incentives, the maternity and paternity leave policies have also been revised. The bill has made fully paid paternity leave mandatory. The new policies are flexible and provide greater incentives for both the parents. The state is also making efforts to make childcare services more affordable for working parents. The government has in fact tripled the budget available for nurseries and babysitting costs. There's also been a push for salary supplements for working mothers. When working mothers will return to work after maternity leave, the Social Security Office will pay them a supplementary allowance. The Italian government is trying its best to ensure its population doesn't die out. Do you also want free farmland for having children? Italy's got you covered. In 2018, the Italian government even introduced a Land for Children plan. This plan provided free farmland to families who had a third child. The free farmland was seen as a space for new business ventures that could be started by these families. This plan hoped to provide an incentive for families to have more children, as well as to make use of the unused farmlands in Italy. If we look back at Italy's economy, the declining birth rates are deeply rooted in economic challenges. The root of all causes is money, right? After the financial crisis of 2008, the number of babies born in Italy have rapidly declined. Most people suffer from economic insecurity, which makes them hesitant to have children. An aging population has its own complications and downsides. In 2021, 23% of Italy's total population was above 65 years of age. This number is expected to soar up to 35% by 2050, which is a lot of old people. While elderly people are nice and sweet, they can be difficult for the state to manage. The average age in Italy is at present 45.7 years. An elderly population is a strain on the government's resources and assets for several reasons. With an aging population, there is a demand for healthcare facilities. These facilities range from retirement homes to long-term care. The government must increase its healthcare budget to cater to the aging population. In addition, financing pensions for aging population is also a challenge. The pension system relies on contributions made by young workers. If the population crisis continues, the number of retirees will surpass the people in the workforce. With a declining number of people entering the workforce, financing pensions for the elderly becomes a problem for the government. In short, it's a fiscal pressure cooker. Italy's also looking at a hindered economic growth if the population crisis continues. With fewer young people, there will be a decreased demand for goods and services. Education facilities, family-oriented products, and childcare services will suffer. In addition, an aging workforce is also less likely to initiate innovation and advancement. A young workforce drives technological innovation. The real estate market is also likely to suffer since there will be a decreased demand for housing. Presently, the number of people aged 100 and above in Italy is 3 times more than the number 2 decades ago. Italy has the highest percentage of people above 65 years of age among all EU member states. Apart from the financial crisis of 2008, COVID-19 also significantly impacted Italy's economy. Italians are known as big savers. An average Italian citizen saves 20% of his or her annual income. This is mainly because many people live in generational homes and are able to save rent money. However, when the pandemic hit, the average savings dropped to 11% in 2022. In January 2023, this percentage further dropped to just 5%. This percentage represents economic insecurity faced by Italian people. The prospect of having children with these economic conditions seems bleak for a lot of Italians. Maria Rita Testa, a demographer at Rome's Luis University, reminds us that it's not all about money. She says it's not only for 50 euros per month that you decide to have a child. It's if you have the possibility to combine your work life with your childcare duties. In this day and age, parents also have to balance between their work life and childcare. Many women have also embraced the choice to be childless. Some wait for financial stability to plan a child, which eventually takes years, and it ends up becoming too late sometimes. A major reason behind this could be the lack of female labor participation in Italy. Only 57% of women in Italy contribute to its workforce. The lack of financial stability hinders women from planning a family. Italy's youth is also facing rising unemployment rates. In 2020, the youth employment rate recorded for individuals between the ages of 15 to 24 was 29.1%. The unemployment has also driven out a large chunk of Italian population to other countries. From 2008 to 2009, about 1.5 million Italians left Italy in search of better opportunities. Apart from the lack of women in the workforce, there may also be other reasons behind Italy's declining birth rate. There's more to this story than meets the eye. The men might also be to blame. Yes, men are the reasons so many women are choosing to have lesser babies. A study published in Demographic Research Journal in 2008 revealed interesting insights about men's attitudes. The study concluded that men with more egalitarian attitudes in Europe had more children. The term egalitarian here refers to men who were more likely to share household chores, etc. Basically, men who treated their wives with equality and fairness. What does this mean for women? Women who've had to take care of their children and also do well in their jobs are exhausted. Therefore, they chose to not have more than 1 or 2 children. Italian men really need to step up. The society and culture of Italy might also be to blame here. Let's think of it this way. The Catholic Church is a predominant political institution in Italy. Now, the Church strongly criticizes assisted reproduction. This means adoption and surrogacy options are a big no in Italy. Therefore, fewer heterosexual and gay couples are able to have children. Another thing to consider here is also the birthright mechanism in Italy. Birthright is not extended to immigrants. Children born to permanent tax-paying residents are also not given a birthright. Therefore, these children are also not counted in Italy's official population tally. If you look at the rest of the world, Italy's not alone. Italy isn't the only advanced economy with a declining fertility rate. Data collected by the World Bank shows that in 2020, the average number of children per woman was below 2. People are increasingly choosing to have fewer children. There are countless memes, movies, TV shows, and discourse about this. The new generation is not ready to take on the responsibility. This might also be because people are increasingly becoming conscious of parenting styles. In the past, parenting styles didn't matter. Children just kind of magically grew up. Now, considering the steps taken by the Italian government, it's important to realize that financial measures alone are not enough to encourage population growth. As a society, we need to start discussing the impacts of population crises. And most importantly, the women will agree with me here, we need to realize the work women put into childbearing and then raising children. This load needs to be divided. The men must step up. It takes several generations to reverse the trend because the overall number of women who are fertile has reduced itself over time. And that brings us to the importance of taking advantage of immigration as another possibility when facing such an issue, says Massimiliano Valeri, the Director General of Italy's census. There's an ongoing debate in Italy regarding its migrant population. While the migrant population can help with economic challenges because they make up a significant portion of the Italian population, the political leadership has raised concerns of Italian identity and culture. These concerns have resulted in restrictive policies for immigrants. Therefore, the immigration debate rages on. Apart from these factors, the government should also invest in mechanisms to increase financial prospects for its youth. In this day and age, even planning children without having financial stability seems impossible. It would be wise to say that Italy's fertility crisis is a complex issue with multifaceted impacts. It's not just about numbers, it's about the economic, social, and cultural fabric of a nation. In short, the issue is complex and cannot be solved by focusing on one particular area. What do you think is the solution to Italy's fertility crisis? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear your insights on this topic. And if you like learning about similar topics, don't forget to hit the share and subscribe buttons. See you in the next video.